Whitehead with it now. Gets it out to Zion. Zion over to Jermaine Hall. Jermaine Hall going to take it to the rack through the right side. Gets hit, and he's going to go to the line early. As that foul, I believe, will be on Jeremy Thomas, our highlight player.
You know, a bit of a dangerous hit there in the end as you see Jermaine a little bit in pain, but that's the type of player Jermaine is. He's an athletic. He's going to crash the board. He's always going to try and go for those tough shots. Very, very athletic player for this Vulcan squad. I mean, you can say that about everybody on this team. That's something that Coach Sankum, I believe, has very much trusted in his players, just to be as athletic as they can be.
Something interesting to take into point here is this Clarion team is a little bit bigger than expected. They got some 2'6" guys out there, 6'6", and also 6'9". So, you know, California, I'm not going to say they struggle at rebounding because they kind of make it a collective effort, but all in all, they're going to have to focus on boxing out tonight and limiting possessions.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, that's something they have struggled against is teams that have more size to them. I mean, they did beat UPJ earlier on within the year, but they gave them some trouble at times just because of their size advantage. And as we saw last time Slip played these Vulcans on the road, they also gave them a bit of trouble, even though they did handily win that matchup last week.
Jump shot here by Jermaine Hall off the front rim, no good. Long rebound out to Whitehead. He's going to travel, though, as he kind of got stuck wanting to pass it to Zion, then ended up getting it to Jermaine, and too many steps were taken.
And I mean, just an unfortunate stutter step, but already impressive motion here by these Vulcans to open up and create space for these shots. I mean, off the first possession, immediately Donald Whitehead Jr. found enough space, and that's going to be an important part, is the turnover battle here tonight. KJ
McClurg finishing in the fast break, not able to finish, though, as it rolls off the front rim and out, and Clarion coming back the other way. Steve Kelly with it now. Gets it over to Cam Kearney. Kearney over to Easter. Easter back to Kelly. Kelly passed it up, but Bryson Lucas up ahead, and he's going to get an early explanation point as he slams it home for this Vulcans team off the transition.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's what I just said. It's just that you can't make these turnovers this early on in the game. We know this Vulcan team, number 14 in the nation now, takes advantage of these turnovers, and this fast break offense that they have is killer. You cannot stop it, and especially against the sixth scorer in the entirety of Division II basketball, number 5, KJ McClurg.
When you're as talented as on offense as this Vulcans team, it's a lot easier to focus on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what they've been doing as of late. As Zion Collins misses the three there. Steve Kelly coming back the other way. Kelly gets it to Easter. Easter over to Thomas. Thomas back to Easter. Back to Kelly in the corner for three, and he connects on his first shot attempt of the night. That'll tie the game up at 3 here in the first 3 minutes of play. As Clarion gets themselves on the board off the Kelly three. Whitehead with it now, gets it over to McClurg. McClurg back to Whitehead up top. Whitehead trying to take advantage a little bit, but nothing there. Zion going to take another three, and this time he's going to connect as he's trying to get going early.
And that's another key factor for this offense is Zion Collins, 15 points per game. But when he gets hot, he does get hot. And it's been something they've been worrying about for this most part of the year. Takes a lot of shots, but for a 4 or 5 game stretch was missing most of them.
Right there, the steal by Jermaine Hall. He gets a little bit of contact on the other side, but no call is made. And right here, the pull-up three by Justice Easter is no good. The rebound by Thomas. He puts it back up, misses, gets his own rebound again and misses. And man, our highlight player not making us look as smart as we would hope as he misses the first 2 shot attempts from right underneath the rim.
Yeah, and I mean, Coach Sankum has to be not even upset. I'd say just straight up angry with that one. That's 3 straight shots up without the rebound. And you see he got mad at Jermaine, too, on the other end of the court. When they did lose that ball, he wanted to Jermaine just to keep it and stick with it, but he was looking to go for the foul call. But a lucky, fortunate sequence of events for these Vulcans.
Zion with it now, looking to stay aggressive. He's down on the low post, gets it out to KJ McClurg, who's going to drive, kick out to Whitehead for 3. No good.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of him, too. 37% from the three-point line. 10 points per game as well to go along with it. Not somebody normally missing those open shots.
Easter with it now. He gets it over to Kelly. Kelly with the pass to Thomas. Thomas back over to Easter. Easter gets it to Thomas on the roll, and then the kick out over to Jason Harris for 3. Off the rim, no good, and Zion Collins with the rebound.
Yeah, an impressive motion again just to open up defense. And again, that's not a shot you want to miss there. I mean, that is going from Harris, who is shooting 26% on the year. You can't afford to miss those opportunities in a close game like this.
Jermaine Hall on the aggressive take, the rebound of his own, and then Bryson Lucas follows. He's going to get fouled, and he will go to the line to try to make it a three-point play. That will also take us to our first media timeout here on Valentine's Day here in the Convocation Center. And speaking of Valentine's Day, I believe that we're going to have some Valentine's Day cards coming up here pretty soon as a graphic, so keep an eye out for those as we have members of our CU TV kind of put together a little bit of a set for you here on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not lucky enough to have a Valentine. The closest thing I got is JJ right now. But hey, why focus on Valentine's Day when you got an amazing basketball game in front of you? You know, let's not focus on your crippling loneliness. Let's focus on the fact that these teams currently both shooting very poorly right now. Clarion right now shooting 14% from the field, and Cal shooting 30%. I mean, you're seeing it right now in this offensive sort of show match. It's just not really there yet. It's more or less just how the turnovers are affecting things. And I mean, you look at Clarion, already 4 turnovers on the night, and for Cal, 2 turnovers, 2 of those contributing to Jermaine Hall Jr. And I mean, so far it's been reminiscent of the matchups we've seen between IUP and I believe the Slip when we played them away. Kind of reminiscent of those games where offensively it's not as high octane, but you see more of a defensive matchup that plays into transition offense.
Traden Gray checks into the game for the Golden Eagles, along with Gavin Coate, who actually had his season high of 20 points earlier this season against the Vulcans. So you have to see if he's looking to get started early. The redshirt freshman from Venetia. Oh, I'm not even going to try. Venetia, PA.
There you go.
Close enough, you know. I was on the right track.
You got the V right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this first letter is always the most important. As Bryson Lucas connects on the free throw, makes it a 3-point play. He's up to 5 points of the California's 9, and they have a 6-point lead.
You know what else starts with a V? Valentine's Day.
And you are exactly correct. Look at that nice little lead in to our sponsors tonight for Valentine's Day. And the take there by Cam Kearney gets rejected and rebounded by Collins. He's going to get it over to McClurg on the wing for 3. No good. Some Golden Eagles fighting themselves for the rebound, but they do come up with it regardless. And Steve Kelly coming back the other way.
And for the number 2 3-point percentage shooter in the PSAC, that's not a shot that you really want to miss. And I mean, all year long he's made a note of it, just to hit those corner threes. And even during the warm-ups of every single game, you'll see him on the other end of the court just taking those solo 3 points from the corners, because that's the shot that KJ does want to take every single time he is open on the wing.
Kelly with it now, gets it over to Kearney. And back to Kelly. Kelly tried to get it to Easter, but a little miscommunication, and Jermaine Hall going to finish in transition.
Yeah, and I mean, just almost a lazy play by Clarion. It seems like nobody wanted to dive for the ball to try and retain possession. But, I mean, it is a little dangerous as you are near the half-court line and you don't want to get a backcourt violation.
Kelly with it now. Just got the feed from Gray. Looking over towards Kearney. Nothing there. Gets it to Gray on the right wing. Over to Kearney in the corner. Kearney guarded by Collins. Gets it out to Gray. Gray's going to shoot a deep 3. The big man not afraid to pull the trigger as Donald Whitehead gets the rebound. Bryson Lucas in transition. Gets it to KJ, who kind of just mishandles it, and it's coming back the other way. Easter with the pass to Kelly. Back to Easter. Back to Kelly. They're just moving it around on the top of the key. Looks for Coate. Gets it to him. Over to Kearney. Kearney on the drive to the middle. A little bit of a spin. Going to go off the backboard with it. No good. And Donald Whitehead making his presence known down low as he tips it out to Collins. Bryson Lucas looks to finish the lay-in. No good. Rebound by McClurg. He puts it up and in.
Stop.
And I have no idea how that ball went in, as it was way up above the backboard and still somehow found its way in off of the board. And he's going to the line to try to make it a 3-point play.
I mean, like, what do you want me to say about that? I mean, just how many players in Division II basketball can make that sort of play?
There's going to be a timeout here by Clarion. Head coach Damian Pitts wants to get his team on the right page as they find themselves down 10 here early on, and McClurg trying to make it 11 at the free throw line.
Another quick shout out that almost just escaped my head. KJ McClurg, 1,000-point scorer now for your Vulcans. Achieved that last week during the Rock. And I mean, how impressive that is for a sophomore to be able to score over 1,000 points just for one team. Transfer out of, I believe it was University of New Hampshire, coming back near his hometown, Morgantown, West Virginia. I mean, every single night he puts on a show, and the Magic Man making his presence known on the court already.
Yeah, I mean, last year he wasn't really even too much of a big time scorer for this team, and just goes to show when you lead the PSAC in scoring for a whole season that you're able to rack up those numbers pretty quickly.
I mean, I like to attribute that just to the fact that Keith Palick III was just so dominant last year, and was mostly the commanding ball scorer for this team. But, you know, having to lose him that early on, teams sort of had to shift play styles, and now not really going to one scoring hand as much as just spreading the love around. And KJ McClurg definitely benefits from that.
Connor Spratt did check in during that last break in action for the Golden Eagles. Number 13 on the floor for them. And the drive here by Coate. Great little move off the backboard as he connects on his first attempt of the night. Zion Collins going to pull up a deep two, and hey, he connects. I mean, might not be the most efficient shot, but he's able to find the bottom and get California's lead to go back up to 11. Our man Nick in the band, always extra energetic, and you can probably hear him in the broadcast as he's just as loud as can possibly be for this Vulcans team. And KJ McClurg running faster than anybody. He's going to trip over a bunch of wires and hope our man JJ's okay over there. If you happen to see a camera get cut out, that's probably why.
Spratt's going to miss the layup, and Surprise may or may not have lost his feed, unsure. McClurg did knock over the chair and did run into some wires, but it's nice to see that McClurg is also okay. I mean, running, like full speed into a chair, definitely not what I would want.
After last game, hurting his ankle towards the end, I got a chance to talk to him after the game. He said, it's been an ongoing issue all year, but he feels all right as long as he just gets ice on it after each game. He's nothing's going to keep him out.
Andrew, why do you talk to KJ McClurg? Is there a reason?
So this upcoming Friday, you need any kind of information regarding the California Vulcans basketball teams, be on the lookout for the Cal Times. Braxton Turner covering the women's, me covering the men's is the finish there by Traden Gray. 2-point little hook shot from the post. Yeah, definitely subscribe to that Cal Times. It is worth every minute of reading and it is absolutely free. So Jermaine Hall with the three from the right wing here. No good. The rebound by Palick, and he's going to miss the easy lay-in, and he holds himself to a high standard. I'm sure he's going to be frustrated.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we saw that almost like 2 weeks ago, or maybe even last week during the slip game where he was running to the tunnel, had a few loud extracurricular words. But, I mean, that's part of why you got to love Keith Palick, is that he cares so much about his craft, wants to be the best player that he can be.
Once again, another three there by Traden Gray is no good as he's starting to get trigger happy. KJ McClurg coming the other way, gets it to Palick. Palick going to try to redeem himself, and they're going to call the block. And he will go to the line for two as that blocking foul goes against Gavin Coate. And that'll take us to our second media timeout here. And, man, I mean, we haven't really seen too much in this game. 18-7, obviously, early on here. And, I mean, not too much going on besides California taking advantage of some turnovers.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, is that I can't really tell you much good going on for these Golden Eagles right now, other than the fact that they are able to get open shots within the paint. The problem is they're just not making them. 3 for 16 right now. That's an 18%, as we're almost halfway through the first now.
Like we said, Clarion's been a team that's been somewhat struggling as of late, losing 8 of their last 9. Their only win recently against Pitt Johnstown, all the way back on February 7th. And that's their last 2 wins. Pitt Johnstown on the 7th, and then Pitt Johnstown all the way back on January 10th was their most recent win since then. So the PSAC kind of has the upper hand on them for the most part.
Absolutely, and speaking of Pitt Johnstown, we're going to look at next Wednesday. These Vulcans are going to be traveling up to Johnstown to play the University of Pitt Johnstown Mountain Cats. So we probably will not be traveling for that one, as that is a 7:30 on a Wednesday. And, we're students. Have to focus on our academics. But that Saturday is a game against Mercyhurst at home, 3 p.m. That is senior day here at the Convocation Center. Only 2 seniors on this squad, that being the returning Zion Collins and Jermaine Hall, having spent their entire collegiate careers here. So make sure you are tuning in here next Saturday.
Speaking of the seniors, going to go ahead and plug another source of media we have coming your way, as there's a little senior send-off for both the men's and women's programs. So Zion Collins and Jermaine Hall for the men's, Deja Terrell and Jordan Smith for the women. We're going to sit them down, have a lengthy interview, and kind of talk about their journeys throughout California. So keep an eye out for that on calvulcans.com and Cal Times.
You know, that's something unique about these players, too, especially what you see in Terrell, Collins, Hall, and, I mean, even Smith, really just all of them, is the fact they have been here for so long. They've been here pre-COVID, so they've seen this university change.
A rebound there by Traden Gray, and he's going to get it out to Connor Spratt. Back over to Steve Kelly. They're running a little bit of a motion offense up top. Spratt with it now. Great defense there by McClurg to knock it out of his hands, and it'll stay on this end.
And, you know, I always praise his offense. I mean, how could you not? The numbers don't lie, but it's his defense, too, that are so impressive for him. I mean, it doesn't necessarily stick out on a page how many steals he gets, how many blocks he'll get a game. I mean, a guy who's only 6'3" can do so much, but for his size, plays well above his level.
A great floater there by Steve Kelly, but it'll come right after the shot clock buzzer. So the shot clock violation will give possession back to the California Vulcans as they still hold on to a 13-point lead halfway through this first half.
And, I mean, for these Golden Eagles, as you mentioned, I believe it was only 8 of their last 9 have been losses. Only win there coming against UPJ, and it's not really going to get much easier having then to go face number 7 in the country, Gannon, and then having to travel to Slippery Raku. That's a bit of a tough team that's had a resurgence within these past few weeks, having gotten wins off of a team like California.
A great little Euro step on that last possession by Keith Palak to get the 2. A miss there on the other end by Clarion. California looking to extend their lead from 15. A great little sidestep there by KJ McClurg, but not able to finish the floater. The shooter here, Connor Spratt, going to go ahead and connect from 3. His first shot, made shot of the night. Has some substitutions coming in here for Clarion. Jeremy Thomas checking back into the game. And Jalen Shippen making his first appearance, number 0 out there for the Golden Eagles. Whitehead with it now, guarded by Shippen. Gets it over to Zion Collins. Collins over to Palak, back to Whitehead. Whitehead on the aggressive take. He's going to shoot a mid-ranger from the free throw line where he's best, and he connects.
He's such a solid pull-up shooter, too. I think that's what's so great about Donald Whitehead's offensive game. It's just how clean and smoothly he's able to just throw himself up for that shot at the free throw line, too. Great shot from Whitehead.
Thing about Whitehead, he might only be 5'10", but that jumper, he gets quite high off the ground. He makes himself about 6'2", as the miss there by Gavin Coate. And the foul down low looks like it was maybe on Antoine Arnett. A little bit of a hold on the rebound, but and back to your point on Whitehead, like I said, his jumper, he gets so high off the ground that, I mean, it makes it difficult to guard regardless of how far away you are from him, and he's so quick that he's able to get open with ease, as we saw in that last possession. Connor Spratt gets it over to Jason Harris, back to Spratt, back to Harris, kind of moving it back and forth. Gets it over to Shippen. Shippen back to Spratt, and Spratt looking to stay aggressive. Gets out to Shippen, a deep three-pointer off the front rim and no good. Antoine Arnett with the rebound.
And just another failed offensive sequence for these Golden Eagles, not able to find anything within the offensive side of the ball. And again, that's just been the story for them tonight. It's just been missing important shots. 4 out of 21 from the field goal percentage tonight. Just absolutely abhorrent offensive play by the Golden Eagles.
A take here by Harris, and he's going to go ahead and extend that arm and get called for the charge. Keith Palak in the right place at the right time, playing effective defense to get the Vulcans the ball back. Substitution here for Clarion as Cam Kearney checks back into the game for Connor Spratt. All the starters out there, plus Jalen Shippen in replace of Justice Easter. Donald Whitehead gets it over to Palak. Palak back to Whitehead. Whitehead over to McClurg. McClurg going to shoot the 3 from the left wing. Quite short as it nips off the front of the rim. Kearney coming back the other way. The drive there by Gavin Coate. Mishandles it, but Kearney able to dive on it. Pass over to Shippen, and Shippen's going to finish with a little bit of contact from Zion Collins, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
And that's important, too, is just being able to draw out that contact. It's something we haven't really been able to do here tonight, just throwing up shots, and none of them being makes either.
And that'll take us to our third media timeout. He's here at the Convocation Center having the Dairy Queen ice cream scream, and one of the most popular little events they have going on here, passing out dilly bars to the lovely fans that actually do show their faces in this Convocation Center, and a lovely gym that doesn't get enough love from the students and the faculty here, but nonetheless, they're still putting on a show. California sitting at 20-3 on the season, 14-3 in the conference, trying their best to host some PSAC playoffs coming up.
And I mean, there's a reason that this team is second. There's a reason this team only has 3 losses. There's a reason this team is as good as they are. They've had such a good year so far, as Matt Kiefer is going to give me the sign. I like it. And, you know, something I've always wondered, as you mentioned, the Dairy Cream ice cream scream, is that, like, why can't we ever get some? Like, well, I'm hungry too, man. Like, I'm a college student. You know, like, I got papers and stuff to do. Why can't they get me dilly bars, you know? I want special treatment. Where's mine?
I could really use a butterscotch dilly bar right about now. There's things where all of the praise growing up, and I'm sure it would taste just as good now watching this fantastic basketball game between California and Clarion. And
I love Nick.
Our buddy Nick just getting as active as he possibly can in the stands. And you know, I was saying in the girls' game, he screams every time the opposing team's at the free throw line, and that would bother me. If I was shooting some free throws and I heard some of the stuff that he says, I would definitely my free throw percentage would definitely start to plummet.
I mean, that's just such the difference that you get in a D2 environment compared to like a D1 or, I mean, even low-level professional play, is that in those high-tier environments, it's just going to be straight noise. It's hard to pick much out. But, I mean, in these, I don't want to say lower levels, but, I mean, you see how big this arena is. It's easy for, you know, guys like our good buddy Nick over there just to be able to scream. And definitely just one person, that's going to get in your head a lot more than just a crowd of people.
Great backdoor cut on that last possession by McClurg. Palak found him. Little step back three there by Kearney, and that was a very nice shot for the leading scorer on this team. 16 points a game, averaging almost 20 over his last 5. Have to see him get going here pretty soon, as Palak's going to pull up from deep. No good off the rim. Coming back the other way is Shippen off the rebound. Shippen gets it to Easter, and Easter over to Harris. Back to Easter. He's going to pump fake. He's going to drive into the middle, and he gets it off the backboard. No good. Rebound by Palak. Long outlet pass to Collins. And Shippen just kind of in the way. And he's going to get called for the blocking foul. A little bit of a substitution here for the Vulcans as DJ Slaughter, Bryson Lucas, and Jermaine Hall check into the game for Donald Whitehead, Antoine Arnett, and Keith Palak.
And on that last possession, Easter got the pump fake off on his defender, decides to just drive the lane, but I don't think he noticed that he had a wide open three-pointer from the wing. I believe that was number 4, Cam Kearney, for him. And again, it's just these miscues that these Golden Eagles are making, just not able to find the open guys. And I mean, it's been leading to this deficit of nearly 13 they have.
A three-pointer here by Shippen off the back rim, no good. Aggressive rebound there by Jermaine Hall. He's going to get it to Zion Collins, who's driving the floor, gets it to Bryson Lucas. Bryson, a great pass to Slaughter, cannot finish, and the rebound by Kearney.
Yeah, and there's a lucky sequence of passes. I don't want to say impressive, but just to get able to get the right ball rolling. And I mean, more even there, Cam Kearney gets the right ball rolling.
Sophomore from Virginia Beach, really working this California Vulcans team right now, as he's scored their last 5 points and looking to continue to get going here. Rotation all around the wing, gets it to Zion Collins for 3, no good. Another rebound by Shippen. He's going to get double teamed and fouled. That will be only the 4th foul on the Vulcans. Steve Kelly checking into the game for Shippen. California with 4 fouls, Clarion with 6.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's been a hot minute since these Vulcans have scored nearly a minute and 40 seconds. That's going to go up to around 4 or 5 offensive possessions. And I mean, if you're Coach Sangham here, I think you have to think about maybe calling a timeout and trying to call your guys down and see what you can figure out.
Pass over to Kelly. Kelly with it up top now, guarded by Slaughter. Gets the screen from Harris, gets it over to Easter. Easter with the long three off the rim and no good. They did as good of a job as they could to box out Thomas, but Thomas still gets to the ball, knocks it out of bounds, and the Vulcans will bring it back the other way.
And I mean, only 6'5", but you saw how impressive he was against Bryson Lucas and Jermaine Hall, and being able to bring down that rebound. I mean, that's exactly why we highlighted him going into this game, is just how well he is able to grab that ball.
Earlier this year, he posted 18 points, 14 rebounds, and what I believe was a win over Pitt Johnstown. And like you said earlier, Pitt Johnstown, a little bit of a taller team, so definitely an impressive feat there. KJ McClurg from the corner, no good, and he gets the rebound to Jeremy Thomas. Easter to Kelly, to Thomas, to Harris, back out. Gets it to Easter again. Gets it to Kearney. He's going to get a screen from Harris, get the switch that he wanted. Jermaine Hall on him now. He's going to pull up for the long two, and he's going to connect once again as he's really getting going for this Golden Eagles team, trying to keep them in it.
And I mean, now just a 9-point lead here, back down to the single digits. And I mean, an uncharacteristically slow game for KJ McClurg. 3 for 9 right now and 0 for 3 from the three-point line. I mean, it's been hurting these Vulcans not having their leading scorer go off as well as they want him to.
You remember what happened last time? We said KJ was off to a slow start. He dropped his career high of 36.
He dropped his career high.
So hopefully we can jinx him in the right direction once again and get him going a little bit. As like you said, 3 for 9, not something we're used to seeing from the box score from him.
But, I mean, he is definitely a heads-down type of worker. I mean, he'll keep his head down and he'll go to the basket, drive in, try and draw out those fouls. And I mean, even though he has been missing those three-pointers here tonight, that's not going to stop him. He still knows that is his shot. Confidence being no issue for him. He's still going to take it.
Credited his teammates, such as Bryson Lucas, for coming out of the halftime tunnel and telling him, hey, this is your game. And KJ went ahead and proved that as he hit 3 of 4 three-pointers in the first 4 minutes of the second half of that game, which kind of led the Vulcans to their win. 3 there by Harris, no good. Ball gets tipped all around, back out to Kelly, fakes the 3, gets it to Thomas down low. Thomas in the post, gets it with the left hand off the backboard and in. And now in transition come the Vulcans as Jermaine Hall going to dump it off to KJ McClurg. Gets it out to Zion Collins, the spin move. Gets it out to Slaughter. Slaughter, the rare 3, off the rim, no good. Hall with the rebound, gets it to McClurg. McClurg leaving it short again and then getting blocked there, but he will get some contact as Harris picks up what will be, I believe, potentially his 3rd foul of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's his 3rd foul in 16 minutes. So the starter might be seeing his minutes kind of dwindle a little bit here to avoid fouling out of this ball game. KJ McClurg hits the first of 2 free throws. We say it every game, but McClurg averaging 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, shooting 84% from the free throw line. Really able to create a lot of opportunities for this Vulcans team as he connects on both there. Gets his point total up to 9. And for somebody that we're saying is off to a slow start, he is leading the team in scoring.
And I mean, that's just what you want from KJ, is to try and regain some of that confidence back. I know I mentioned that confidence normally isn't an issue for him, but I mean, you saw in that last offensive possession for those Vulcans, and for KJ specifically, missed shot, just not necessarily getting what he wants off of it. And then almost immediately goes up for the second open one, not finding what he wants, and ends up creating a turnover, but luckily draws out the foul.
Collins with the 3 from the corner finds the back of the side of the backboard. Not something you want to see as a shooter there, but he's somebody that he doesn't really matter what happens. He's going to keep shooting it. He has that confidence, and right there, great 3-pointer by Justice Easter as he connects on his first 3-point attempt of the 3-point make of the night. Zion Collins gets it out to Slaughter, back to Collins, guarded by Kelly, the smaller defender. He's going to take him to the rim, kicks it out to Jermaine Hall, looks down, looks up, shoots the 3, no good. Rebound by Kelly.
Yeah, and it's just moving the ball too quickly, not being able to slow the game down and find the shots that they want. And I mean, you're seeing what the effect of that is right now. We're looking at a what? Let's see, 6-point game. Yes, I did the math on that correctly. I'm a genius.
And the 3-pointer there by Zion Collins. They needed that desperately as they were on the wrong end of, I believe, a 14-6 run before that bucket. And now Zion kind of gets them back on the right page, increases the lead to 9 with 2.5 to play in this first half.
You know, I mentioned the score once, and almost immediately they just turned around on me. I swear I'm just a bad omen.
As Easter with it now, gets it down low to Gray. Gray working a little bit, pivoting, and that is a late foul call if I've ever seen one. But they do call that on Bryson Lucas. That'll take us to our last media timeout of this first half. California leading 35-26. Bryson Lucas's first foul there, and seen a little bit of everything here. Is you know, nobody really stepping out ahead for either team individually. California with KJ McClurg with 9 points, Zion Collins with 8, Bryson Lucas 7. And they also have 4 guys with 4 rebounds each, with Jermaine Hall, Bryson Lucas, Zion, and KJ. So really an all-around team effort to start the game here, and playing good on the defensive end as well.
Oh, absolutely. For these Vulcans, already up to 5 steals, only 1 block. I know we saw from that last game against Slip that Bryson Lucas, you know, just made that game all about him defensively with, I think, around, like, what, 5 or 6 steals and around, like, maybe 2 or 3 blocks as well. This time around, not as much so, but I think more or less the big exclamation point here tonight is just what's going on from the shooting range. I mean, both these teams just not shooting what they want here tonight. The Golden Eagles 33.3%. That's 11 for 33, and these Vulcans shooting 12 for 35. That is a 34.3%. I mean, even from the three-point line, both these teams struggling. Clarion shooting 4 for 18, the Vulcans shooting 2 for 15.
Yeah, it's not something you're used to seeing from the Vulcans. They, I mean, they're known for every once in a while they'll shoot their fair share of threes, but it's because usually they're connecting, and seeing them being 2 for 15 tonight is not characteristic of this team at all. But, I mean, the more misses you have, the more likely you are to turn it around later on. There's no way it stays this way the whole length of the game, so you have to think that California will come out in the second half shooting as well.
Characteristically, I think they've also messed up the scoreboard again, or the scores table, or the clock or something. I don't know. I feel like almost every single time we have a game here, there has to be one stoppage due to the clock.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they added a point to Clarion. Don't quote me on that. I don't see what you guys see on your end, but the miss there by Traden Gray. Substitution coming as Jeremy Thomas checks out of the game for Gavin Coate. Once again, our guy Nick making himself be heard. And I asked JJ during the women's game what he was saying down here, and he said he couldn't even tell, and now I can tell why he says he can't tell, because neither can I.
You know, I think last time around during the women's game, I heard the B-movie, like, intro part of that script. That's what I heard, and I think something about the Gummy Bear song. So, I mean, he's digging deep into his pocket right now.
Bryson Lucas digging deep into his bag as he's going down low. No good. The rebound by Easter. He's going to get it to Kelly, and they're coming back in transition. Kelly dumps it off to Kearney. Kearney forces it up. He's going to get fouled once again by Bryson Lucas as he'll pick up his second in just as many minutes.
And I believe that is going to force Coach Sankum to put in Keith Palak. I know on that first foul, too, I had to chuckle a little bit because that one, just a bit of a late whistle, and then the immediate reaction from... He's deep in his bag tonight.
And I gotta just wonder how this guy goes home and talks to his family, because his voice has got to be just absolutely gone at the end of these back-to-back games. And we appreciate the band being here, but we appreciate the fandom of him as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what's crazy is that I have class with him, and he's the most quiet guy, and then it's just, like, what, 4 hours later, it's just he's digging deep in his bag here tonight.
Keith Palak with it, passed it over to Jermaine Hall. He's going to drive the right side, gets it to Zion Collins, shoots the 2. No good, but the rebound by Palak, he's just got to chuck it up. Somehow Zion actually there, and the foul goes against Gavin Coate. That will be the 8th foul for the Eagles, and Zion Collins will go to the line.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not necessarily that these fouls are even, like, being distributed out evenly. It's just spread all across the board. I mean, you have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players with personal fouls. Harris having 3, which is the most of the Golden Eagle roster here tonight.
Zion Collins, 15-point-per-game scorer in his last season with the California Vulcans. Shoots 69% from the free throw line. misses there. Front end of the 1-and-1, no good, so Clarion gets the rebound. They're coming back the other way. Jeremy Thomas on the drive, gets out to Kearney. Kearney gonna look and see what he has at the top of the key. Over to Kelly, back to Kearney. Trying to stay aggressive, gets it over to Easter, down low to Gray. Gray out to Kelly and gonna set a screen for him, looks for him on the roll, nothing there. The spin move by Kelly, he's gonna pivot around, puts it up with the left hand, no good, and Keith Palak with the rebound.
And I think we're gonna see here now, it's just the Vulcans try and slow it down, not only burn a little clock, see if they can get some plays running, and I'm immediately wrong as Don Whitehead Jr. steps it back for a score, and that gets them to a 10-point lead here, 38 seconds left.
California playing their brand of basketball where they just take whatever shot they can get and capitalize as often as they can. The miss there by Gray, and rebound by KJ. Danny Sankum going to take a timeout. There's a 1-second differential between the shot clock and game clock, and he wants to take advantage of this last possession.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this too, I've been watching Coach Pitts for the Clarion Golden Eagles for the past few possessions, and I mean, he's just been hilarious to watch. On that last final timeout call, hands on his head, looks like he's just seen a ghost. And I mean, it's just been absolutely electric to watch, and especially when you compare it to the bench on the other side of the court, that being Danny Sankum, who normally very expressive, very loud, very lively. And I mean, we mentioned this last week against Slip. I mean, we saw him on the bench, sitting down maybe once. And you're lucky if you see it twice. I mean, that's just like a 5-year clover.
It's funny because if you watch the games and you see Danny Sankum on the sideline, you think he's the kind of guy that's going to bite your head off anytime he talks to you. But getting a chance to talk to him after the game on Wednesday or on Saturday, and he's actually a very cool, calm, and collective individual, and he knows what he's talking about in the game of basketball. And I'm pretty sure that's why all of his players kind of bought into his scheme and strategy here, and why they're doing so well right now.
Absolutely. After a great career in Wheeling, I mean, he's just such a quiet-spoken type of person off the court. I mean, on the court, completely different, but you can catch him, not really consistently, but you can catch him on the Danny Sankum show where they talk about these games, what happened, what they're looking forward to here in these past few games.
And the forced pass there by Palak to KJ McClurg. And there's our highlight player, is Jeremy Thomas able to dunk it at the buzzer. Cut this lead down to 8 as California going into halftime with the lead 37-29. And stay tuned for the second half here on PSAC Sports 1 and CUTV.
Hey, I'm Dr. J.P. Stazzle. I'm one of the directors for She Kills Monsters.
I'm Jillian Bruni-Kreitzer. I play Agnes Evans.
I'm John Sape. I play Orcus.
Hi, my name's Belle. I play Vera.
I'm Elena, and I play Evil Tina.
My name's Amelia Passway Roberts. I play Lilith Morningstar and Lily.
It's a fun show. Come see it, February 22nd through the 24th. Be there.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 18-member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students, with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, making the PSAC proud.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are live from the Convocation Center in this matchup between California and Clarion. California holding an 8-point lead to this point, 37-49, or I mean 29. I can't read, apparently. Interesting first half that we had there is a little bit of all-around scoring for both teams, and looks like it's going to be a good finish.
I mean, I would most certainly hope so. I think in that first half it was just a little slow. I mean, as I've mentioned, during that, both teams are shooting rather poorly right now. Clarion Golden Eagles shooting 12 for 36. That's an abysmal 33.3%. 3 for 18 from the three-point line. And these Vulcans here, California, Pennsylvania, not doing much better themselves. 13 for 38. That's a 34.2 percentage. And 2 for 15 from the three-point line. Only 2 three-pointers coming from Zion Collins, who's 2 for 5 from the three-point line. And I mean, another big worry has just been the fouls and turnovers on the side of the Golden Eagles. Not only missing shots, but you're also just giving away offensive possessions, and your players getting fouled too. That sent Cal to the lines a few times. I mean, luckily these Vulcans were able to capitalize off and get themselves a relatively comfortable lead.
We look around the PSAC West at a couple other matchups. Gannon leading Slippery Rock in what is a pretty interesting battle. 56-49 in the first half. Definitely a high-scoring affair there. Nothing that Gannon is unfamiliar with. And then Edinburgh holding a 37-31 lead over Mercyhurst at the half. And IUP somewhat blowing out Pitt Johnstown at a score of 48-26 at the halftime mark as well. So those are the other three games in action here tonight as, like we said, California so far holding the lead, playing their brand of basketball, and if they can get some shots to fall in the second half, I'm sure they're going to build on top of that lead.
Absolutely, and I think probably the most important matchup of the ones you listed there is that Gannon Slippery Rock one. The Slippery Rock, the Rock, is sitting at a 500 right now, 11-11. Gannon, not as much a worry for them, even though losing that game would hurt them, as that is going to shake things up in the West and probably puts California up top. But importantly for Rock, it's just cementing them within this playoff race. I mean, if you're able to beat a team like Gannon, that not only helps you in your race to push through the PSAC end of the season and into the playoffs, but, I mean, maybe you cement yourselves as hopefuls for this upcoming NCAA Atlantic Regional Tournament. And, I mean, I think that's what the big prize for these teams like Gannon and California, and, I mean, even IUP is right now, is not overlooking the PSAC tournament, but these are teams with national title contention status, and I think they're definitely looking forward to that more than I think they are the conference playoffs.
Gannon out shooting Slippery Rock in that game, 46-27 right now, so a little one-sided in that affair. As the miss there by Jeremy Thomas, and we're back in action as Jermaine Hall pulls down the rebound for the Vulcans, and Donald Whitehead bringing it up. Gets it over to Zion Collins. Collins on the wing. Gets the screen from Lucas. He's going to pump fake at the top, get it to Lucas, get it back. He's working a little bit, wants the three, but can't really get enough separation. Gets it to McClurg, the handoff to Lucas. Lucas, the mid-range jumper off the back rim, no good. Rebound by Kearney, but Zion there to poke it away and puts it up. And that's a good way to start the second half.
Man, I mean, that's just good effort by Zion Collins, able to read, and it just didn't have the ball in his hands too well, and stops himself enough in time to be able to get himself hands on that ball. 2 points for this Vulcan team. And that puts them up 10 here early on in the second.
That's 10 points for Zion to this point. And the foul there, Jeremy Thomas going to be able to have a chance at a three-point play as the foul on Bryson Lucas. That'll be his third. And Jeremy Thomas finishing through contact. He's up to 6 points on the night.
And 6 rebounds to Boone as well. I mean, his size and his rebounding ability is definitely coming to play here. The 6'5 freshman out of Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. I mean, highlighting him before the game, we expected him probably to score a bit more, and 6 points, on the board. Not too bad, but I think definitely if you wanted this Golden Eagle team to have a much tighter affair, probably looking to see him score a bit more.
What a great dribble move there by Jermaine Hall as he's able to split 2 defenders and finish with the left hand. What a great little press break the Vulcans put together there as well, as McClurg found Hall in the middle. The pull-up three there by Kearney, and that was a great jumper there. His foot almost on the line, but the referee going to give him the three, give him the benefit of the doubt, and this leads down to 7. Zion Collins trying to answer with a three. That comes up short. Steve Kelly bringing it back, looks for Kearney in transition. Nothing there, though, and they're going to set up their offense. Kearney with it now. Pass over to Easter. Easter back to Kearney. Kearney looking for Thomas down low. Nothing there. Up to Harris, over to Kelly. Back to Kearney, guarded by Collins. He's going to pull up for another three and once again connects, but that time his foot is on the line. And the two-pointer there by Kearney gets him up to 12 points on the night.
And now the leading scorer on this court. I mean, definitely something I think both teams have struggled with is just being able to finish the ball and, actually get it within the hoop. Most efficient scorer for the Vulcans right now, 4 for 9. And it's Zion Collins.
And right there, the nice little stutter step Euro by Steve Kelly to finish for 2. And all of a sudden, this is a one-possession game. Vulcans lead dwindling down a little bit, but Donald Whitehead on a beautiful take and drive as he'll finish on the right side of the rim.
Yeah, and starting to see this now. Coach Sankum also starting to heat up. You can definitely tell the frustration's getting to him as shots aren't able to fall. But Donald Whitehead Jr., importantly, though, able to get himself a bucket. And I think that's a player you want to step up offensively for you if you are the Vulcans. Not seeing him shoot the ball too much here tonight.
Steve Kelly, the pull-up three behind the screen, no good. And a terrible outlet pass there by Bryson Lucas as he was trying to catch Donald Whitehead in transition, but Steve Kelly was just waiting for it. So right now Harris with it down low, tries to get it to Thomas, little miscommunication, and McClurg comes up with it. Gets it to Whitehead. Whitehead on the drive, the pass out to Collins. Collins in the corner on the drive. He's going to get in with the left hand, no good. A little bit of contact, no call though. Steve Kelly with the pass up to Harris now. Harris taking it right to the chest of McClurg and finishing at the rim. And they're going to get a technical as Harris has had a frustrating night to this point. That's only his first basket. He has 3 fouls. Just picks up a technical now for his 4th as he had something to say to the referee.
And I think the coach, Harris, I believe, is also maybe going to get a technical as well, maybe. I don't know if that was just a repeat. No, that was a double technical.
Wow, and that's going to kick him out of the game, I believe.
Yeah, that will. That's going to be sending him out of the game, and that's a rarity in this level. I mean, you have to say something like really, really bad to get you double teched like that. I mean, you can tell the referee's talking this one over, just trying to discuss things. And I mean, what a surprising turn of events. I mean, you're seeing this Clarion team start to heat up here outside of the second, making this a one-possession game. And then suddenly out of nowhere, that's going to give KJ shots at the line. And what a turn of events this has turned into.
Jason Harris, a 11-point-per-game scorer this season, the sophomore, 6'9", out of Newport, Virginia. And as we said, like has to be a little frustrated considering that was his first basket of the night. And he was mad he didn't get a foul call, said something to the ref, got the first tech, and obviously wasn't happy. Continued to say something, and because of that, California going to get a couple free throws here.
And I don't know if you can tell, but I think a few of the players are trying to talk to the refs right now and see what happened, too. Because I don't even think many of the Vulcans, I don't even know if all the Golden Eagles know necessarily what happens. I mean, it looks like Eastern, I believe that is Cote, all still look rather confused as to what just happened.
Jason Harris going to get an early shower tonight as he made his way, I believe, to the locker room. Not, like you said, not something you see often at the Division II level. I mean, everybody has a lot of... they're definitely worried about what's going on the floor, but they usually are able to contain their emotions to some point. And right there, McClurg creates a little bit of space, but Thomas tries to make it up as he lunges at McClurg and fouls him on the three-point attempt, and McClurg will go to the line for 3.
Yeah, and importantly, I think this is what you want to see if you're a part of this Vulcan faithful, is just seeing McClurg get back to the free throw line. He struggled a bit from the field so far tonight, but I mean, 83% free throw shooter, and he's been 7 for 7 here for tonight. Now leading the scoring for the entirety of the court now with 14 points.
And how about KJ McClurg after those 2 technicals? He will now have 6 free throws in 14 seconds.
That's got to be some sort of record. That's crazy.
That's not something well, I'm sorry, 7 free throws because he gets 3 here. My math a little wrong there, but he had 4 for the technical, 3 for the right here. So 7 free throws in 14 seconds.
And that's all of them, too, right?
Yeah.
That's a straight 7 points from McClurg. And, hey, look, we were talking about this game heating up for the Golden Eagles. That's now 7 free points for the Vulcans now.
That's something why it's so important to keep your emotions in check and not allow things like that to happen. But all of a sudden, California goes from a 1-possession lead to now a 10-point lead. Kearney with the turnaround jumper, no good. fighting for the rebound, both teams. McClurg gets it, the outlet pass to Jermaine Hall. He goes up and creates a little bit of contact as he's going to get fouled by Justice Easter. And that'll take us to our first media timeout, as when we get back, Jermaine Hall will make his way to the free throw line. And I mean, just like you said, just an interesting turn of events for the Clarion Golden Eagles, losing one of their starters to double technical and fouling out of the game, and now all of a sudden allowing 7 straight free throws to increase their lead to 10. I mean, that's something that California's been looking for here early on, as they've kind of struggled from the floor in general, only shooting 35% compared to Clarion's 39%. And I will say that, you know, when you're struggling from the floor, but you're able to create opportunities at the free throw line, it kind of just gets everybody back on the right track and gives your team an opportunity to build points without the clock moving as well. So, you know, all of a sudden with 16 and a half to go there, California was only up 3, and now less than a minute later they're up 10. So definitely a change of events as we kind of go through the stats here. Clarion, like I said, shooting 39% compared to California's 35. Clarion only 20% from behind the arc, 4 for 20, and California only 12.5% at 2 for 16. So neither team really shooting the lights out from beyond the arc, as they combine for 6 of 36 between the two of them. Not something you really want to see from a basketball fan's perspective, but has been a competitive contest to this point. KJ McClurg leading the scoring for the Vulcans at 16, and Cam Kearney leading the scoring for the Golden Eagles with 12. And Jermaine Hall making his way to the line. 65% free throw shooter on the year. Can't connect on the first. The senior from Baltimore, Maryland. 13 points a game, 6 rebounds, 48% from the floor. And I do believe, don't quote me on this, but with his 6 points tonight, I believe he does jump up to what is either 23rd or 22nd on the all-time scoring list for the Vulcans. Coming into the game, he had 1,245 career points. And they're going to call a foul there on Keith Palak on the pass to the inside. Yeah, Jermaine Hall, the senior, just knows how to get the job done on both sides of the floor. He's been here a long time. Like Nate was saying earlier, a lot of these upperclassmen have been through the COVID years as well, which kind of gave them an opportunity to extend their college careers and play further. He also redshirted once, so, you know, he's able to do a lot of things. He's been here since 2018, so it feels like forever, and we're going to miss him next year, that's for sure. As Kearney gets it over to Kelly. Kelly on the drive, guarded by Whitehead. He forces up a floater, no good. The fight for the rebound as Zion Collins comes down with it, but they will call a foul as somebody made contact with Kearney. And I believe that was potentially Donald Whitehead. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen the signal from the referee yet. We're going to have the ball underneath the basket as Steve Kelly is going to pass it in for the Golden Eagles. As we said earlier, head coach Damian Pitts for the Golden Eagles being very charismatic and energetic on the sideline over there, trying to get his team involved and cut this deficit down a little bit. It's Jeremy Thomas with it now. Pass out to Kearney, gets it over to Easter. Easter picks up his dribble, gets it to Kelly. Kelly's got a little bit of separation. He'll shoot the three. Off the rim, no good. Keith Palak with the rebound. Palak gets it to Hall. Hall over to Collins. Collins with the three from the corner. And I tell you what, when Zion Collins can get going from deep, it really opens up a whole lot for this team. As that will be, I believe, his second three-pointer of the night. Or actually, that's his third three-pointer of the night. He has all of the three-pointers for the Vulcans, as they are 3 for 17 so far tonight, and he's able to connect on his three, as he's 3 for 7. And the turnover there is the ball was just mishandled by the Golden Eagles, and the Vulcans regain possession. 14.5 to play in this game. They have a 14-point lead. Donald Whitehead with it now. Pass over to Collins. He gets the screen from Jermaine Hall. Looking for Hall, gets it to him. Hall with the pump fake, fadeaway jumper. Comes up short. Zion Collins with another rebound, gets it to Whitehead in the corner for 3, and he connects. Zion Collins did the little look away run as he kind of knew that his teammate was going to connect on that 3. Get all the room in the world, and he's up to 9 points on the night. Kearney now goes for the spin and a little bit of a late whistle by the far-sided ref as KJ McClurg thought he came up with a steal, but they call the reach-in foul instead. Checking in for the Golden Eagles is Traden Gray. He'll check in for Jeremy Thomas. Thomas has just been in this game in short spurts, and they don't keep him in for too long, but they want to keep his legs fresh as they know how athletic and much of a game changer he can be. Jermaine Hall putting all of his effort to good use there as he dives for the loose ball. Does tip it out of bounds, so it will stay on this end, but nonetheless, with a 17-point lead, you love to see that kind of effort by the senior. I'm sure he's soaking in every last moment on this court for the Vulcans as he knows his career is coming to an end. And this team's good enough. He wants to end it on a good note in the playoffs, and like we said, maybe even making the national playoffs. A great spin and win there by Steve Kelly as the outlet pass deep to Zion Collins, and the spin and win by Kelly means nothing when you're giving up 2 points at the other end just 3 seconds later. Collins up to 15 points now on the night. That's his season average, so right there, Kearney just loses it, dives on it, but McClurg able to get his hands on it as well for the jump ball and possession arrow in favor of the Vulcans. So it will come back the other way. Vulcans leading this game 59-42, 13.5 minutes left. 3 fouls for the Vulcans, 4 fouls for the Golden Eagles. Whitehead with it at the top, guarded by Kelly. Setting up the offense, looking to the right side, he finds Zion Collins. Collins going to get the screen from Palak, hits him on the roll, and the finish with the foul. Keith Palak doing what he does best, the pick and roll, creating some contact and finishing at the rim. Palak just doing everything he can to fit into his role here for the Vulcans. Is coming off last year, definitely a different kind of season for him. He was the leading scorer, the go-to guy last year, with McClurg just kind of getting used to the system. Zion Collins being out all year with an injury. And, Palak not able to connect there on the free throw, but he has been doing a great job as of late in this PSAC conference play, doing everything he can to give his team a spark off the bench, and that's exactly what he does. It's the pass from Kelly over to Gavin Coate, and Coate misses the 3. Rebound by McClurg. The pass to Whitehead. Whitehead throws an alley-oop to Antoine Arnett, and it was so close to being finished, and that would have been at the top of our highlights here tonight. But they were unable to convert on it, and Clarion coming back the other way, facing their largest deficit of the night at 19. That double technical definitely did justice for California as they're on a pretty big run right now to extend their lead as high as it's been. Their lead was cut all the way down to 3 with about 16, 17 minutes left in this half, and now all of a sudden up 19. As Donald Whitehead, the pull-up 3, and it's exactly what we were talking about earlier, where he's just really able to, even as a 5'11 guard, just rise up and just do what he does, and it's hard to guard when he gets that high up. So this timeout will also be our media timeout, so we will be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Dr. JP Stazzle. I'm one of the directors for She Kills Monsters.
I'm Jillian Bruni-Kreitzer. I play Agnes Evans.
I'm John Sape. I play Orcus.
Hi, my name's Belle. I play Vera.
I'm Elena, and I play Evil Tina.
My name's Amelia Passaway Roberts. I play Lilith Morningstar and Lily.
It's a fun show. Come see it February 22nd through the 24th. Be there.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 18 member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students. With an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, making the PSAC proud.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here, California with their biggest lead of the night at 22 after the Donald Whitehead pull-up three. Score being 64-42, and we welcome back Nate Kurtz to the broadcast. And I mean, you missed a little bit of a run while you were gone, but nothing too crazy. But now California just trying to hold on to their lead.
I don't think I missed much of anything, really. I mean, from the courtside view, it's just beautiful offensive play by the Vulcans. You know, just taking those easy shots. It's something that I always talk about when I am on this call is just, you know, don't try anything dumb. Take the easy points where you can get them. And I mean, if you can pull off something flashy, as you almost saw there with that alley-oop, Antoine Arnett, try it. But otherwise, just try and take those easy buckets.
Wow, what a great backdoor feed as KJ McClurg finds Antoine Arnett for the highlight reel dunk. California answers the two-pointer by Kearney by a more exciting two-pointer of their own. Kelly with it now. He gets it up top to Gray. The pass over to Kearney. Kearney with a little crossover. Gets it back to Gray. Gray's been trigger happy from three tonight, but drives the lane, puts up the two. No good. Rebound by McClurg. And the Vulcans coming back the other way. Hand off to Whitehead. Whitehead a little bit of an aggressive take. Gets it to Palak. Palak on the drive. The backdoor cut to Antoine Arnett, but Arnett just a little too late. And that'll take us to yet again another media timeout. I had thought the last timeout was our media timeout, but maybe the refs just didn't communicate that too effectively. But nonetheless, we're going to stay here. I mean, California is doing a great job of being able to extend this lead and play their kind of game. And scoring's been all around. It's not like the last game where KJ has 36 points and everybody else is hovering around the double-digit mark. I mean, KJ with 16, Zion with 15, Whitehead now with 12, Bryson Lucas and Jermaine Hall with 7 and 6 respectively. They're just doing a great job on the offensive end, limiting turnovers and capitalizing on opportunities.
I mean, yeah, that's just what you wanted to see coming out of the, I guess, now halfway point here in this second, holding a 22-point lead, which, I mean, how long ago were you looking at a three-point game? That was not even like, what, 7 minutes ago?
That was at the 17-minute mark. They were holding a 3-point lead, and then all of a sudden, within about 4 or 5 minutes, they went on. I'm not exactly sure what the run was. I don't want to try to do math live on broadcast right now, but it was somewhere around a 16-point swing that they were able to do there, and now all of a sudden up to 18 as they have a 22-point lead with 11 minutes to play.
And, you know, as I mentioned, I think probably the biggest turning factor was just that double technical that you saw go against Jason Harris. I mean, wasn't necessarily contributing much to the court, but, I mean, that ended up being, what, 5, 6 free throws for McClurg? And, I mean, you saw just a few seconds later foul committed, and then that sends McClurg back to the free throw line again, and that ended up with him getting 7 free throws with, I think, as you said, 14 seconds. And, I mean, in such little time, that many points can make a huge difference because, I mean, that went from a 3-point game to a 10-point game.
That's why free throws are also so important. I mean, as a coach, you just have to practice that. And when you look at tonight's box score, Clarion only 2 for 6 from the line, California being 17 of 21. I mean, that's a 15-point difference right there. So it's essential to be able to shoot effectively from the free throw line, and California's done a good job of kind of doing that all year long.
Absolutely. And I think another player you definitely want to, I don't want to say keep your eye on, but, you know, take notice of has been KJ. I mean, I know we mentioned that he is having a slow game, 3 for 10, but that won't stop him from the line as he's already scored 16 points here tonight, 10 of those points off of free throws. And, I mean, it's crazy that even a bad and a slow night for KJ McClurg still ends up with almost half of his career high.
Honestly, you know he'll probably get up to 20 points tonight. It's a great take there by Easter. And I was kind of talking, like we said, that, or I mentioned to him after last game that we said he was off to a slow start, and then he finished with his career high. So, and right there, able to create, find it off the board, and he's already 2 points shy of 20. He just continues to do his thing on offense. Kearney with it now, guarded by Zion Collins. Looking for it at the high post. And the pass over to Gavin Coate, and Coate loses it. McClurg with it now for the Vulcans. The pass to Arnett, and Arnett trying to muscle his way in, and he will create some contact against Coate and go to the line for 2.
And speaking of creating space, it's something that I think is a real strength to this Vulcan team, is because, I mean, you don't necessarily have that one player who can just create all the space in the world and create those open shots. It'd be something great to have. You just have a few guys who can create space every now and then. So altogether, when you put that together as a team, I mean, they're able to run around, create enough motion within the ball movement, and end up opening up shots and opportunities for them scoring. I mean, it's why they're so good on the offensive side of the ball, and it's a reason why KJ on the season's averaging 23.
Second free throw no good after Arnett was able to capitalize on the first. California 23-point lead, just under 10 to play. Pretty much in the fourth quarter, I guess you could say, of this game, now that we're into the final 10 minutes. Easter with it at the top. He's going to drive, put it off the backboard, no good. Jeremy Thomas loses it on the rebound. McClurg coming back the other way. Finds Collins. Collins going to drive, kick it out to Palak. Palak across court to McClurg. McClurg going up with the floater. He creates so much contact.
Stop.
Still finishes. No call there, but he's up to 20.
I mean, it's not even that you see McClurg just try and throw himself out to draw these fouls. He also gets these shots up, and he creates good opportunities as weak as, you know, sometimes they may look. I mean, that's what, like 2 or 3 shots now that he's created here tonight that, I mean, nobody here at this level, not even really on the Division I level too, should be making those type of shots, but it's just how well he is at being able to create enough space for himself to throw up the ball and how talented he is.
Jermaine Hall checks into the game for the Vulcans. Zion Collins checks out. Steve Kelly checks in for the Golden Eagles as Gavin Coate checks out. The miss there.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but Coate now also on, I believe, 3 personal fouls here tonight as Donald Whitehead Jr. Why not? Chuck it up again.
And I mean, we weren't at the Gannon game, but one of the main things I saw from the box score of that Gannon game where they lost was Whitehead only shooting like 3 or 4 times. Kearney connects on the 3. And I said to myself, like, you know, a player of his caliber needs to be shooting more than that, and tonight we're seeing exactly why. As he's up to 15 points. He's got, I believe, 3 threes on the night now, all in the second half. Jermaine Hall with it now in the corner. The pass cross court to Whitehead. Whitehead finds Palak down low. The great play. Amazing ball movement by the Vulcans.
And I mean, he may not look like it either, but Donald Whitehead Jr. definitely have to give him credit for being just a game-changing factor at the point guard position. I mean, yeah, sometimes he'll start off a little cold, but again, I call him a microwave scorer because, you know, he'll get that little bit of heat to him and then keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And I mean, you saw he started off relatively slow tonight, but now he's up to 15 points. And something so important is just being able to get that scoring off here, especially in the later half of the game.
It's going to be a foul against Clarion. That'll take us to our second to last media timeout. And with that being the 7th or 8th foul of the half, KJ will go to the line following the media timeout, where he has found a lot of success tonight, being 10 for 10. The majority of his points, well, half of his points coming from the line there. He also has 8 rebounds, so 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals for the leading scorer in the PSAC as he continues to fill up the stat sheet for the Vulcans.
You know, there are a few constants in life. So, I mean, you got death, taxes, and KJ McClurg going to the free throw line. I mean, that's not an insult at all. I mean, it's just how good he's able to create enough space for himself, usually down by the paint, able to draw out those fouls. And, I mean, if we had a statistic for, you know, drawing fouls at the three-point line, I guarantee you he's also leading that one, too, because I think I've seen it now 5 or 6 times this season that he's taken three-point shots, drawn contact, and ended up at the line.
Actually, looking at it now, that was 8 defensive rebounds he has. He also has 2 offensive, so a total of 10. He's already at a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds for the sophomore. I mean, how more impressive can you get?
Well, you can go for the triple-double, man. I mean, that to me, if you get a triple-double at like 6'3", I mean, dude, just put him in the Hall of Fame.
Coming out of the media timeout, California holding a 24-point lead. They were up by as many as 27. KJ McClurg being at the line for 1-1 now. If you're the Golden Eagles, this is the last person that you want to send to the free throw line, especially tonight, being that he is been so familiar with that area. First free throw good by McClurg. They'll guarantee him a second one. Continues to just put together performances that, you know, they don't seem spectacular, but they get him up to a scoring average. I mean, he averages 23 a game, up to 22 now, and still 8 minutes left to go in this ball game.
I don't think we've mentioned this either. He's 12 for 12 from the free throw line, too. So he's not only been there 12 times, but he hasn't missed at all.
Shippen with it now. Shippen with the handoff to Easter over to Kelly. Kelly guarded by Whitehead, loses his footing. They're going to call travel, as he did keep possession while losing his footing. So counts as a few steps there when you're trying to like slide your way through to the bucket. And California going to come back the other way.
And, I mean, that's the Vulcans forcing another turnover and forcing another mistake here. 17 personal fouls from the Golden Eagles to the Cal's 8. And that's 14 turnovers to Cal's 8.
Keith Palak staying aggressive, drives it to the basket, no good. Arnett with the rebound, once again no good. Creates some contact, but no call there by the refs. As Kelly gets it over to Kearney. Kearney going to drive with some aggression, and Jermaine Hall able to hit it out, but goes out of bounds. KJ McClurg taking a rare break here as he checks out of the game for Zion Collins. Bryson Lucas also checking into the game for Keith Palak.
And, I mean, if there's anything I've learned, what's most likely going to happen here is KJ's going to sit for maybe at max 30 to 40 seconds on the court until they get the next whistle, and then he'll be right back out. Which, I mean, that's another part of his game I also don't know if we really mention a lot, even though we do talk about KJ so much, it's, like, unbearable. But he's out on that court nearly all 40 minutes of the game.
Averaging 37.7 minutes per game, which I believe is second or third, maybe second in all of the PSAC in minutes per game. So he is not very familiar with taking breaks. Donald Whitehead creates some contact there, and he'll go to the line. Whitehead, an 87% free throw shooter, coming into the game at 39 for 45 from the charity strike. First one is good by the sophomore from Hermitage, PA. Mentioned earlier, averaging 10 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, a steal, 42% from the field, 37 from three, and 87 from the free throw strike. Shippen bringing it back as California with their biggest lead of the night at 28 points, 80 to 52. And I mean, what a crazy second half we've had from the Vulcans. They're outscoring Clarion 43 to 23 this half. Make it 43 to 25 on that two-pointer by Justice Easter. But able to outscore them by nearly 20 and really just break open this game.
And that was an impressive take by Easter as well. Able to cut through, hold the ball well enough, and just being able to get that as Whitehead Jr. almost another heat check there for a three-pointer.
Shippen with it now. Coming down, they had numbers to begin, but now California back on defense. Gets it over to Kelly, who gets it back to Easter. Easter finds Shippen. Shippen on the fake pass. The drive. Gets it out to Kearney. Kearney going to take the three from the wing. A little bit short. And the rebound there by Bryson Lucas. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to play in this game. 80 to 54 in favor of the Vulcans. Zion with it now, working the high post. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound comes off of Arnett's fingertips to Whitehead, to Lucas with the pass inside to the cutting Zion Collins, who finishes for two.
Yeah, and I mean, again, talking about Whitehead, he plays far above his size. I mean, you see it within his vertical, too. I mean, I know if you're ever here at the arena, at the Convocation Center, watch him during warm-ups, too, because, I mean, this is a 5'10 guy who can nearly dunk and grazes the rim. I mean, even when he shoots, too, you see how high up he can get within his shot. And, I mean, even on the defensive end of the ball, which is something that, I mean, this is all leading up to. I mean, he's averaging how many blocks this season? Usually a block a game, and it's rather impressive for somebody who is 5'10".
Whitehead up to 17 points on the night, as is Zion Collins. The two putting together quite a performance alongside KJ McClurg. Great rebound there by Jermaine Hall. They're going to run in transition a little bit. as Zion Collins gets it to Bryson Lucas, who kind of just forced it up because he left his feet and finds it off the backboard to increase the lead to 30.
I thought he was going to go for some Luka Tyrese type of thing, just throw it off the board and just try and rebound it himself. But impressive take by Lucas, and that's what, a 30, 29 or 28-point game now. I'm good at math, Andrew, I promise.
Great finish there by Steve Kelly. The pass over to Zion Collins with 3, no good. Rebound by Jermaine Hall. Creates some contact, and it's the second or third time that he's hit the deck pretty hard tonight. He has a little bit of something to say to Jeremy Thomas. Seemed like friendly words for the most part, as neither one of them really with malicious actions, but still talking a little bit out there.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something I don't necessarily expect from Jermaine is, crap talking and, necessarily talking bad on others. I mean, you'd never talk to him outside of the court. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Always such a great smile to him. No matter wherever he is on the court, he'll always try and chuckle it off, even if it is something really bad or it's just a small mistake that he makes. And, that's something that as a senior of this program, you just have to do. You've been here now 4 or 5 years, and, you've just learned that sometimes you need to laugh it off. And, Jermaine Hall Jr. now just going to come off the floor. Caden Hanna is going to make an appearance here tonight with 4 minutes and 34 seconds.
Usually Coach Sankum lives and dies by he keeps his starters in until you take yours out, but tonight, giving McClurg and Hall and even Whitehead an early rest. As Kearney on the drive there, going to get fouled by Bryson Lucas. That will be his 4th. Nothing really too crazy to look out for. There's only 4.5 to play and quite the lead. But that will be Bryson's 4th, so he picks up one more and he will be checking out early as well. Thomas with it now, gets it to Kearney. Kearney guarded by Lucas. He's going to take it to the rim, try to create some contact, nothing there. And Caden Hanna, the check-in, gets his first rebound. He gets it back from Zion and off the board and in. And fan favorite Caden Hanna able to connect on his first shot attempt of the night.
And it's a bit weird, too, in just not being able to see Hanna out on the court as much. I mean, if you were here last year, Caden Hanna was a regular, transferring out of Division III up here to the Division II level. Played an impressive role within that team last year, just mostly defense and rebounds, but still was able to bring enough grit to the team, put them in the playoff contention, sadly losing to IUP last year within the second round. But a nice seeing Hanna back as Lucas just kind of loses the rebound.
Yeah, Bryson Lucas was trying to box out Jeremy Thomas, it seemed like there, and pointing to everybody else to grab the rebound, but it was just too little too late. Ball coming over our way. And for whatever reason, Jeremy Thomas picks that up. I'm not sure if maybe it was tipped, but that'll take us to our last media timeout, and we will send it to commercial break. Stay tuned for the final 3 minutes and 30 seconds of this contest here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Hey, I'm Dr. JP Stazzle. I'm one of the directors for She Kills Monsters.
I'm Jillian Bruni-Kreitzer. I play Agnes Evans.
I'm John Sape. I play Orcus.
Hi, my name's Belle. I play Vera.
I'm Elena, and I play Evil Tina.
My name's Amelia Passaway Roberts. I play Lilith Morningstar and Lily.
It's a fun show. Come see it February 22nd through the 24th. Be there.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 18-member campuses educating more than 110,000 students with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, making the PSAC proud.
Back here on the PSAC Network and CUTV Sports 1. It's California trying to hold on to what has been one of their bigger deficits, or one of their bigger leads of the season. They are up 87-58 in this game, and DJ Slaughter heading to the line for 2 to try to make it a 30-plus point lead.
And during that break, we saw Dalman Alexander, Jalen Goins come into the game here. As I always say on the broadcast, it's always good to see a Goins brother. No disrespect, but usually when you see those guys on the court, usually means that Coach Sankum is ready to get some of his bench players some playing time, and you know, I'm always excited to see Jalen Goins out there. Always love watching him when he's on the court. Such a good shooter, and I'm always happy to see a Goins. Put it that way, ladies and gentlemen.
Dalman Alexander seeing his first minutes of the night as well, as talked about earlier in the season. The true freshman kind of played a more pivotal role in the first couple games and has seen his minutes drop dramatically throughout the season. But, I mean, with Keith Palak and Donald Whitehead making their way back into the lineup and healthy, it's hard to make room for all these skilled players. That's going to be an and one there by Jalen Shippen as they call the blocking foul on Caden Hanna. Seemed like he was in the right place at the right time, but back heels might have been in that restricted area, and that's kind of what caused the block instead of the charge. Looking around the PSAC, Gannon and Slippery Rock in a barn burner right now, as Gannon only up 4, 85-81, and I don't like Slippery Rock, but man, would I love to see them win that game, because that would give California a chance to jump Gannon in the PSAC West standings, and we'll keep an eye on that game and update you accordingly. Slaughter on the drive, looking around, gets it over to Arnett. Arnett in the corner now, guarded by Kearney, gets it to the passing, or to the cutting Goins, and the lay-in there by Goins.
And I know we've mentioned it before, but I mean, both these teams, Gannon and California, have clinched berths within the PSAC playoffs, so not necessarily a matter of making it, but an impressive drive there by Kearney. I thought he was going to try and throw that one down, but you know, not necessarily trying to make it to the playoffs at this point, just as so much it is for seeding. I mean, I would rather be the 1 seed in this scenario, probably a worse team in that case. If you're looking at a 16 playoff race right now, you're either looking at a Seton Hill, a Hearst, or a Clarion right now as it stands. So, I mean, that's if you're the 1st seed, but if you're the 2nd seed, you most likely end up playing a team like IUP or Slip, and I'm going to be honest, I would rather not play IUP or Slip again if I don't have to.
Edinburgh holding a 5-point lead over Mercyhurst as well. Just over 3 minutes to play in that game, so a little interesting matchup between the bottom half of the PSAC West, and you know, those are the teams that are fighting for playoff. DJ Slaughter gets it to Arnett, and Arnett looking around, gets it to Alexander. Alexander over to Goins. Goins gets it to the rolling Alexander, who's going to go to the rim and can't finish. The rebound there by DJ Slaughter, though, gets it on the bounce pass, and that's going to go out of bounds and come back the other way in favor of the Golden Eagles. And Danny Sankum going even deeper into his bench. He's bringing in Eli Brooks, Andre Brooks, and Seth Goins. Something you love to see.
Yeah, I mean, Brooks only getting 1 appearance. I believe that was the first game at home after that very long road trip. I believe that one was against Chestnut Hill, only getting that 1 appearance so far. But joining him now, the brother of Jalen Goins, Seth Goins, and then Brandon Singleton. Hasn't seen much time on the court himself. Minute 50 here left.
Do apologize there for misnaming Brandon Singleton. But happy to see him in the game, and Coach Sankum going much deeper than he has pretty much the whole majority of the season. But, I mean, with a lead like this, you can afford to do that.
I was hoping you would just, like, gloss over it. So now you know it's a mistake.
I mean, I got to call it out. You know, I take responsibility for my actions, and I want him to know that I apologize. The 3-pointer there from Seth Goins, and that's exactly what you want to see from a guy that comes off the bench and doesn't usually get many minutes, but you want him to have enough opportunity, and he takes advantage of it there. The drive there by Gray, a little block, it looked like from Dalman Alexander. Pass over to Goins. Gets to the other Goins. And to Singleton, and back to Goins as he fades away, leaves it way short. The rebound by Gray. The 3-pointer there by Connor Spratt as he connects on the pull-up jumper. I mean, not too much to say really about this game, as it's way out of reach at this point, under a minute left to play, and just some guys getting some time, and a great pass there by Brandon Singleton. He gets Eli Brooks his first bucket of the night.
And again, it's just nice to see these guys getting off the bench, getting some of their accounts full of points now. And I mean, Going to see, I think that was a travel. I believe that one was going to go against number 2 on Clarion, which I do not have his name currently listed.
Dev Vezwani with the travel there.
But, I mean, if you looked at this entire game, I mean, you looked at a very sloppy first half. Both teams just not making much of anything. A lot of missed shots and not much open opportunity for either teams. But looking here in the second, completely different ball game. Complete and utter domination by these Vulcans. After around that 6 and 7 minute mark, is now Jalen Goins just going to back it up, pass it up to Seth Goins. So you're going to see the clock run out here at the Convocation Center. That's going to be the California Vulcans taking the win over the Clarion Golden Eagles here, 95-66, and after a very impressive performance here.
A great game to improve California to 21-3 on the season, 15-3 in the conference. Clarion falls to 7-17, 5-13 in the conference, and that'll be it for us. Thank you all for listening and watching, as this has been the California Vulcans basketball on CUTV Sports 1 and PSAC Network. Thank you very much.